the books and records are kept. It's just an accounting ledger. It's just an accounting ledger. It's just an accounting ledger. It's almost immutable. It's almost immutable. It's almost immutable. It's just an accounting ledger. Trust it more than an Oracle database. Trust it more than an Oracle database. Oracle database. I want to invest in I want to invest in something because how the books and records are kept. It's almost immutable.
Crypto DLT with Mr. Connector. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell for daily content. Let's go.
I feel like we really are on the cusp of the mass institutional adoption, both of DeFi and of other blockchain technologies. I think this is also like one of the key obstacles to mass retail adoption. A lot of people in the space previously thought that retail adoption was like the big wave, but I think institutional adoption is a precursor. You have to connect to where people are. You have to go to where the value is. You can't build a new financial system from zero, ignoring the existing financial system where everybody's money is, where all the value is, where the real world is, trillions of dollars in value. You can't just say, oh, forget about all that. Let's just build something new over here. That doesn't work. And so I think this wave of institutional adoption over the next year or two is going to be what's going to pave the way for mass retail adoption. And then we can deliver on those promises. Like, we all want to bank the unbanked, but like the unbanked, like they have to be able to spend their money to buy groceries and pay their phone bill, and so we have to have that institutional connectivity. And I don't think there are any obstacles. I think that's and I think this conference shows that.
What's up, everybody? It's Mr. Connector. Schwartz says institutional adoption will pave the way for mass retail adoption. Sounds good to me. How about you guys? What's going on in the world of crypto and distributed ledger land today? Good to see you guys already tuning in. Angus, Scrim, Evan, XRP, and Bradley B up on the podium. 1, 2, 3. How's it going today on this Monday evening? 6:36 on the East Coast. Hope you guys are doing good today. We're going to get right into it. Good to see Schwartz bullish as always. The Treasury just put out a press release a couple hours ago. They have a request for comment. They have to do this before anything big happens, guys. Request for comment required by the Genius Act. Of course, it's, that's in the act, which furthers the administration's policy of supporting responsible growth and the use of digital assets. So the Treasury is going to use these things, guys. Good to see this coming out of the Treasury. Strengthening American leadership in digital financial technology is the executive order, and they're fulfilling their obligation to the Genius Act, which creates a comprehensive regulatory framework for stablecoin issuers in the United States. And this request offers opportunity for interested investors or individuals and organizations to provide feedback on innovative or novel methods, techniques, or strategies that regulated financial institutions use or could potentially use to detect illicit activity involving digital assets. There you go, guys. They're going to use this stuff to keep everybody in line. That's the beauty of the transparency. And if you're going to work with an entity, you have to KYC. It's just like banks, guys. A lot of people talk about clawbacks. You know what a clawback sounds like? That sounds like a bank account, right? So all we're doing, it looks like, is we're going to we're digitizing bank accounts, making them move faster and settle instantly. That's what all this space is. That's what it looks like to me. In particular, the Treasury asked commenters about the application program interfaces into artificial intelligence, digital identity verification, and the use of blockchain tech and monitoring. And at the same time, we've got the Federal Reserve dropping their oversight program that eases banking rules, and experts are reacting on the Fed softening its stance on digital assets, changing how banks can work with crypto and new tech. So it looks like Operation Checkpoint 2.0 is over with. What's up, Nathan Stevens? We are meant to be here at this point in history. Yes, we are. We're in the right place at the right time. We're choosing, light over darkness. We're choosing the level playing field. Let's get into those connector coins. What's going on in the connector coin list? Electroneum's up a little bit, 6.72. COREUM up 5%. That airdrop I got from holding COREUM a while back, Pulsera, the DAX airdrop, is up just a little bit. Stronghold, we're expecting some major listings on Stronghold soon. That's why we're getting a pre-bump for that. Onyx Coin, don't forget about that. Metal Blockchain. Lizard King up in the house. What's up, buddy? Angus says beatings will continue until morale approves. Morale. God, I can't even say it. Morale improves. Yeah, that's right, Angus. We got to have some clarity. We got to have some regulations passing. Genius has already passed. Let's get these senators and congressmen back to work to pass the Clarity Act. We're looking like Christmas is going to be a good time into 2026 for sure, guys. All right, let's check out the XRP Ledger coins. White Rock's up today the most, 55% up. XPunk's IGC is up, and XRP Healthcare. I'd just like to take a quick look at that. And your COREUM is up there on the XRP Ledger as well. Let's look at the American cryptos. Past 24 hours, Onyx Coin is only up 2%. Not much going on the price action today. Venus token, Chainlink, AMP, and Nano. Don't forget about XNO, the first feeless coin. Cool. We've got to take a quick look at the categories in crypto. What's popping off the most today? The Bonk Fund ecosystem and options, with HEGIC, H-E-G-I-C, leading the way for your options categories in crypto. And today's calendar, Kadena hosts Kadena News. See if there's any other coins we're into. USDT is on Miami Game. Stable coins are going to be everywhere, guys, running on all chains. I was looking at my WebAuth wallet earlier. There's so many stable coins on there. PayPal, Paxos. I hadn't seen the RLUSD on there yet, though. We're keeping a lookout. Unstoppable support. Look at Monero. Planning to add Monero support. I'm not sure what unstoppable support is. I guess that's a support desk. I guess they need Monero after that 51% attack. Lots of questions on that with Cubic attacking Monero. Looks like they've paused that attack, though. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's take a quick look at how much XRP has been locked up on the loan protocol. I just locked some up on there the other day myself, getting 8.6% on my XRP. Not much, guys. I don't trust any program too much, but this is a decentralized way to earn XRP already. How many of those are out there, right? We've got $17.6 million worth of XRP that's locked up on loan protocol. Lizard King says, Merry Christmas, you old savings and loan. Yeah. Nathan says, glad to be catching live. Not getting notifications on time. Imagine that. Yeah, they don't want my channel getting out, probably being shadow banned. Who knows? I wish I could come up with a regular time for streaming, but you know, I get it. You get in where you fit in, right? Life is busy. All right, let's do it though when we can do it. Of course, they're paying you to borrow XRP. Wouldn't that be a strategy? I hadn't really thought about it a lot, but you know, they're trying to bring liquidity to this platform. So they're paying you to borrow, which is very unusual. 13%, it was at like 40-some% the other day. Keeps going down because they're getting more and more people in. Yeah, wouldn't that be wild to figure this platform out where you could borrow and then reinvest, deposit your borrowed money, rinse and repeat, use it as collateral. I wonder how many people are doing that. You know, you still have to put down a deposit. So you're getting 13% to borrow XRP. You could take that XRP and redeposit it to get more money out of it. You could pull your own micro strategy. Well, I better watch what I say about micro strategy. They sure try to silence people for talking bad about them. Sure, some of you guys have seen dude, I don't even know his name on X. He came out talking about Ponzi scheme, whatever. But, you know, I'm not saying that. It's what he was saying. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, I texted out, or I sent a tweet out earlier today just saying that, Mr. Connector's live. It's a PSA alert. Beware of whomever tries to silence and retract your voice for speaking the truth. How true is that, guys? There's all kinds of censorship out there. So whoever's trying to quiet the voices, you might want to steer clear of. That's all I'm saying. You know about that, guys. All right. Cool. Let's keep it going. What else do we have on my list? Let's take a quick look at the total crypto market cap. This is the 1 week. 3.9 trillion, which trying to get back above that 4 trillion mark. That was nice to say last week, passing above that. Let's look at the 5-year. A lot of you guys have been here this long or longer. 3.9 trillion right now. And we've got the Bitcoin dominance chart pulled up, the 1 week, 59.67, the 1 month, the 6 month, the year to date. Look at that 5-year chart, heading back up and heading back down recently. That's kind of a make or break moment right here for Bitcoin. So will we see alt season? A lot of people are predicting alt season. We'll see. What's up, Buckles? Lizard says, let me tell you something. Yeah, I know you're talking about the guy on the bungee. Yeah. Buckles says, Vincent Wilson told him 20K XRP will be wife changing. Yeah, I haven't seen old Vincent in a while. I used to see him in all kinds of streams. He used to pop in and out, huh? I'm sure a lot of these guys are in the know popping in and out, and they can only say so much. So there's no telling who's in our community, guys. There is no telling what kind of connections are within the XRP army and what truth will come out of that. Let me take a quick look at my COREUM 2 times long daily XRP ETF. Trying to head back up after some losses. I've been in it. I think I bought this dip right about here a couple weeks ago. I'm down just a little bit on that because it is a 2x down, but it is a 2x up when it goes up. So wish me luck on that. in that Roth IRA. I like trading around in that Roth because there's no taxable events in that Roth IRA. And, you know, when I get older, I'll be able to use that. Cash out. Okay, stock market today. Yeah, nothing to write home about. Stocks just are not very interesting to me. But we'll look at them just to kind of get the sentiment. It looks like crypto and stocks run hand in hand. We'll look at Circle right quick. That's gone down since kind of got out. I mean, it was already out, but the World Liberty guy talking junk on Circle last week for having to give up 60% of its revenue to Coinbase in perpetuity. That's wild. Of course, I haven't looked at the ownership of Circle. You know, Coinbase probably owns a lot of Circle. A lot of these companies own each other, guys. It's kind of one big megacorp the way everything's rigged against the small guy. So, of course, a lot of the companies don't mind if there's counterfeit stocks out there. But that's why you see a lot of the smaller companies, that have a problem with the counterfeit stocks. And we're keeping an eye on the MMTP lawsuit that's going on. Let's take a quick look at Coinbase. It is down on the month chart, $320 per share. And let's take a quick look at gold. $3,333. Look at all those threes. That's the Mason number there. That might be a signal to the elites. Maybe we can hop on that. Gold chart. There's the year to date on gold, up 27%. And the 1 year up 32% on gold. What a good investment. That is real money. Lizard says free trades on iTrust Capital. Cool. Bradley B. Bitcoin dominance is at 59.6, 2 weeks now steady under 60. That smells like altcoin season, Bradley. What's up, Buckles? Buckles has been lurking since 2017. Lowest XRP was 11 cents while sitting in church. Well, yeah, I've got some memories like that too, Buckles. Right on. Silver's at $38. Again, let's compare the all-time silver chart, which is up 2,000%, 2,850,000% to the all-time gold chart up 16,000%. Look at that run on gold. Central banks are stacking it up. So that tells me silver might be a better buy-in, only up 2,000% all time. The ratio is way off on gold. Lizard got into some AMD. That might be a good trade. That sounds good. Cool. Let's look at our crypto panic. See what's going on today in the world of crypto. Like Exchange liquidated. LYKKE. Never heard of that one. Okay. Linked to North Korea's Lazarus group. My God, it seems like they're linked to every hack. So are they just the fall guys for, I don't know anything about this, but when I see North Korea Lazarus group, I think they're easy to blame stuff on. That's for sure. So insiders could definitely be involved in this, but I'm not saying they are. You got to watch what you say on this YouTube. I've never even heard of this exchange, so I'm no expert at all. Just throwing it out there that anything's possible. Crypto exchange closes due to a $23 million hack. Let's look at this. Bitcoin X says Buckles. Oh no, what's up? What's up, Maximofomo? LYKKE. Okay, it's a UK-based crypto exchange. Ceased operations in March 2024 following a $23 million hacker linked to North Korea's Lazarus group, resulting in the founder Richard Olson's bankruptcy. This incident highlights cybersecurity vulnerabilities in the crypto industry and raises concerns about North Korea's use of stolen digital asset funds prohibited by military projects. Just looking through it. Lawsuits emerged quickly. Over 70 users initiated legal action. Wow. Not your keys, not your crypto, right, guys? Well, we like self-custody. What's up, Sisu589? Hola. Good to see you. Welcome to the Connector stream. What else do we have on Crypto Panic? Tax reforms. Why Chainlink price kicked off the week with a strong rally. We're just going through the headlines. TD Cohen maintains strategy 680 price after firm purchases another 51 million. Yeah, I hear Sailors changed his terms of service or the investment theses or whatever the earnings call. He said he wasn't going to change it, but he's changed it. So it looks like he's going to be, what, selling off stock to pay for positions? Who knows what's going on with that? Uncle says, same, I won't miss Ripple IPO like I did Circle. I'll exchange some Robinhood for Ripple. Yeah, it looks like Brad, though, isn't really concerned about the going public. You know, maybe that's not meant for Ripple. I don't know. Seems like they're more in the acquisition phase, you know. Maybe to be like the Federal Reserve. Who knows? That's a private entity. Maybe to stay private. Gemini IPO filing reveals Ripple credit deal and 282 million net losses. So Gemini's been losing money, but they get a credit line from Ripple. I've got that on my bookmarks. Gemini from XRP update. Boom. Gemini is gearing up for its IPO. It's getting a big boost from Ripple. A newly filed SEC document shows Gemini securing funding through a Ripple credit agreement backed by Ripple's USD pegged stablecoin, RLUSD. There's the public filing, S1. All these companies are getting in before this boom, guys. Ripple credit agreement. In July of 2025, Gemini entered into a credit agreement with Ripple Labs, an unrelated third party. The Ripple credit agreement, it permits us to make lending requests from time to time of no less than $5 million each to aggregate commitment up to a commitment amount of 75 million. So Ripple's got a credit line, giving Gemini a credit line of $75 million with $5 million for each request. This is just their initial commitment, which can be increased or decreased from time to time, subject to an attainment of certain agreed upon metrics, provided that at no time shall the aggregate commitment amount exceed $150 million. So they're willing to go to up to 150 million. Once the initial commitment is exceeded, lending requests may be made in the form of RLUSD. All lending requests under the Ripple credit agreement must be secured by collateral and shall bear an interest rate per annum of 6.5% or 8.5%. and must be repaid in US dollars. They don't say it has to be repaid in RLUSD. It has to be repaid in US dollars. What's up, Silver Days? Good to see you as always. Silver Days in the house. I keep forgetting to hit my highlight here on Rumble. I like using this Rumble Studio. It's kind of like StreamYard, but free. If anybody's out there paying for StreamYard. I get to do that. And we got Angus and Bradley B. Ripple's becoming the godfather to crypto companies. Lizard says, we won't hear a word from Garlinghouse until after the decision. Yeah, he's been mighty silent. Bradley says, Sailor's getting that orange jumpsuit. Wow. Sissa saying, hey, Bradley B. Right on. All right, back to the show. Yeah, good to see Gemini and Ripple working together for the credit agreement. Interesting. And then we've got SEC pushes back decision on XRP ETS from 21 shares and coin shares. The SEC has extended the timeline for when it will rule on the spot XRP exchange traded funds from 21 shares and coin shares. ETS on hold again. Separate notices published August 18th. The SEC designated longer periods to consider each application. Of course, they did with this with Bitcoin as well, pushing it back time and time again. The approvals opened the door for issuers to push similar products tied to other digital assets in hopes of expanding investor access to the crypto market through regulated exchange traded vehicles. SEC has also delayed decisions on Litecoin and the Truth Social Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF, that hybrid product by Trump Media. Bloomberg analysts previously noted that the delays were procedural and do not impact the likelihood of the approval. XRP now sits alongside Litecoin and Solana as top tier candidate for spot crypto ETFs. What's up, Joseph? Salute. All right, cool. Solana handles 100K transactions per second in a test run. Why it matters. Solana's got a good idea. They just have to hold it together. Solana uses, I think they use like a agent-centric consensus where it doesn't globally validate instantly. You know, like the XRP ledger, it globally validates. And, you know, every 3-4 seconds. Whereas Solana only validates on each node. I think that's how that works. I'm not an expert on Solana, but Holochain works the same way. I've been interested in Holochain for a while. They're agent-centric consensus. Buckles asked, how do I feel about Flare? Will it get back to all-time high of 225? Yeah, that was nice when it hit that all-time high a while back. Yeah, I saw something about F assets starting soon. I hadn't really been keeping an eye on Flare. I've been concentrating on American cryptos recently, but yeah, anytime you can use these, have these cryptos running in DeFi that aren't usually running in DeFi. Yeah, I definitely see the value in that. What else do we have? Any more news coming out of Crypto Panic? We saw where the U.S. Treasury solicits feedback on its stablecoin policy. Circle stock reels after new acquisition deal. Yeah, Circle started their new blockchain. What was it called? ARC? Yeah, but the native asset is an issued asset. Very interesting. That's a permission blockchain. Circle slipped to $141 after unveiling its ARC blockchain plan though Wall Street maintains a bullish outlook. Weird how it slipped after unveiling a layer 1. Joseph is staying focused and locked in. That's all we can do, Joseph. Market is a wave and we're surfing it. Yep. What's up, Louisiana? Louisiana's ready for the rocket ship. Let's go. Ethereum treasury firm BTCS to pay ETH dividend and loyalty payment, in part to ward off short sellers. Yeah, we saw the XRP ETF delayed again. Okay, let's get to our bookmarks on X. Check those out. Sisu asks how you feel about upholding others promising XRP staking and no follow through. I didn't know that they didn't follow through on that, Sisu. I thought that it was happening. Of course, I'm not interested in staking on a centralized entity. You know, I want to stake my coins on DeFi, so I'm just holding until that's possible. That's why I do cover the Metallicus loan protocol. That's a DeFi way you can stake XRP, and that's gaining more trust every day. But I thought that they were going through with that. That's news to me. Of course, I hadn't really been keeping up with it. Uphold here recently. I know that you can stake your, what is it, is it USDC or USD on Uphold, but yeah, just not really interested in staking on a non-DeFi platform. So we're still waiting for DeFi options, you know. Lizzie King says Kathy Woods is off her meds. Yeah. I heard her talking earlier. Wasn't too impressed with that as well, Lizard. Or what was the other lady? There's a lot of shade thrown at Ripple. You know, that means something when there's that much shade thrown. That's why we got into this stuff, guys. We saw as many people, you know, trying to talk it down. That's what makes it attractive to us. Okay, we've got Ripple Gold and Silver. This is High Vibe Assets saying XRP Ledger about to adopt tokenized gold and silver in Q3 2025. Meld Gold teams up with Ripple, launches gold and silver tokens on the XRP Ledger in Q3 of this year. Tokenization innovators Meld Gold partners with Ripple, US fintech Decacorn. As a result of the partnership, Meld Gold would release 2 new stablecoins on the XRP Ledger backed by gold and silver, respectively. Each token would represent 1 gram of the precious metal held by the leading custody providers. That doesn't make sense, really. If it's a stablecoin, stablecoins are usually pegged to the dollar or a fiat currency. But, I mean, it can be backed by gold and silver and float and keep a peg to $1. But they're saying each token will represent 1 gram. So that, to me, sounds like a commodity coin, not a stable coin, right? But that would be interesting if they could keep it stable. Who knows? Who knows what's in the plans? Held by leading market custody providers MKS PAMP and Imperial Vault. Imperial Vault. Gold and silver assets will represent 1 gram of each of the precious metals and will be fully redeemable for gold bullion and silver bullion, respectively. Community is expecting more gold-backed stablecoins to be released on the XRP Ledger rails. All right, good to see Mel's in the game using XRP. Meld Gold's subject matter expertise in alternative physical assets and blockchain tech has led to the development of its pioneering technologies slated for release in 2025. Here's an article on Medium from Meld. integrates fungible gold and silver assets on the XRP ledger in Q3. So their custody is Imperial Vaults and MKS PAMP. Yoza says Chiz told a long time ago that Uphold held his XRP for months and he had to fight to get it back since then and never messed with Uphold. Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories, a lot of good and bad. Knock on wood, I've had great stories with Uphold. That's just me though. Okay, Bradley's already getting 5.4 on Flare on Uphold. Joseph found a silver and copper correlation with the alts, the seasons a few days ago. Yeah, unless it's Tether, it's pegged too. That's right, Bradley. They're pegging it to gold and silver with live accountability. Will offer the first implementation of patent pending work on minimized trust systems for connecting physical items to the blockchain. These off-chain assets are very interesting, guys, especially when you think about the BRICS system. And it's like each BRICS bank is going to have off-chain hard assets in their storage. And what is it, like 40% gold, 60% foreign currencies. Do I have a thing still up from Bradley? Okay. There we go. Yeah, the off-chain assets. That's very interesting. And how they're going to weave these into the new digital system. And how they can do that with each bank holding deposits as well. Imagine them holding gold deposits in America. Banks doing that. Issuing gold tokens. Wouldn't that be nice? Real money. By on-ramping essential liquidity, new and existing customers can capitalize on the XRPL's native features, including the DEX, AMM payment systems, and the coming EVM sidechain and money market. Nice. Utility as a driver for digitization, with the XRPL offering reliability and trust combined with expanded capabilities. The Mel Gold team will focus on driving new and innovative ways to use assets. Nice. Held gold in the game. Good to see that. VELO's got an announcement. They're going to be in a strategic integration with OKX Wallet, one of the world's leading non-custodial crypto wallets. Collaboration enables direct access to the VELO Finance DEX on the BNB chain, offering users enhanced security, simplified connectivity, and expanded global reach. Partnership reflects the ongoing commitment to provide efficient and user-friendly access to the VELO ecosystem. The VELO and OKX integrating. That's good to see. Oh yeah, there's that guy, Nick O'Neill. Had to make that retracted statement.
Hi there. I'd like to make
this
video as a follow-up to the two videos which I made over the past 48 hours. I posted one on Friday and one yesterday regarding MicroStrategy. I have an official statement that I'd like to read here. So please give me a moment to read three important things.
So basically, I'm not going to play all that. He just basically come out and covered his butt on that. Looks like he got a letter from a lawyer. Can't talk about the big boys, I guess. Bitcoin companies. What's up, Protein 40? Papa Tony says it's crazy to him that people don't recognize the accomplishments of Marshall Hanner, who sat at the table with Arthur Brito. Did you guys know that? Marshall's a legend, guys. Don't Don't sleep on Marshall. He's an American patriot. Innovator. Head of Metallica. He worked at and became close friends with Jed McCaleb. He's on the Doge Foundation. He wrote the bill that sets the stage for the Genius Act. That's right, that 2020 bill. Marshall wrote that bill. That was the first crypto bill that they were considering. He created the first Bitcoin wallet for Facebook. And he made a most compliant ecosystem in crypto before anyone knew what compliance was, which is Metallica's TBDN. So the bill he wrote, Papa posted here. Marshall had an incredible time introducing the Cryptocurrency Act of 2020 in Congress. The bill will fundamentally restructure the way that the United States treats crypto by recognizing 3 distinct types of crypto. So Marshall was one of the first names, guys, on the hill. Just wanted to remind everybody that. It seems, yeah, Tony, it does seem like everybody's sleeping on this Metallica's ecosystem. It's under the radar, if you ask me, guys. Okay, we've got Pumpius posting self-sovereign ID, SSI, on the XRP ledger. Yeah, they've got digital identity that is optional. You can add it to your address on the ledger. It's wild. You can do things like text RP, where you can identify yourself on the ledger and, you know, text RP. Very cool system. You can have messages, you know, you can make a phone call, all kinds of things. Send crypto all to your XRP address. It's pretty wild. Let's see what he says about self-sovereign digital ID. I've always talked about, you know, I wouldn't mind digital ID as long as it is sovereign and we're in control of the data and who gets to see what. Bradley B says Marshall Hayner is the real deal, dressed in red, white, and blue, not orange. Yeah, definitely, Bradley. Yeah, a lot of people sleeping on Metallicas. And if you feel like you've already missed the boat on that, there is one coin that has not done anything yet. And that's the metal token. And it's down again, 73 cents. Metal Dow, MTL. There's the all-time chart. You can see how far down it is. Had a high of 13 bucks. We're at 76 cents right now. You can get that on Uphold or, of course, in your WebAuth wallet, MetalX. And, you know, they've got 3 other coins that have really popped off. You know, the loan is up 2,300% on the year, guys. That's crazy gains. Metal's up 826% on the year. And XPR is up 700% on the year. And if you go all the way down on the connector list, Metal's Dow is down 21%. So you've got one token that hasn't popped off yet. So I've been trying to DCA dollar cost average into that myself, just because it's so cheap. Louisiana's got 2 million loan, not staking. I've been staking mine, Louisiana. I like that. What is it? I've got it right here. Lending.metalx.com. Log in with your WebAuth wallet. Let's see, stake. You've got 69 billion loan locked up. Base APR is 3.37%. You just slide your thing and stake your coins. Bam, it's easy. And if you want to stake it, I've got mine staked for a couple years. Look at that, 4x. Projected APR 13.46% right now. Yeah, XPR, everything's still low. I mean, even though it's popped off a little bit. we're still at that stage where adoption hasn't, set in. Okay, self-sovereign ID. If we're in charge of the data, I'm not scared of it, guys. Let's keep it that way, right? Let's see what he says here.
The next iteration of the World Wide Web, known as Web 3, promises more user empowerment by giving us back control of our data. Simple to say, but how would this actually work? First and foremost, Web 3 users will require their own identity layer to regain ownership of their personal data. Blockchain introduces the possibility of having a decentralized online identity, which users could use chain agnostically across all platforms, also known as self-sovereign identity, or SSI for short. This could serve as the tamper-proof identity layer that gives users control back over their digital footprint. But more importantly, decentralized identity could create a more equal digital playing field by giving back users ownership of their data and by democratizing big data revenue, since large corporations would have to buy personal data directly from the users. Identity is central to our day-to-day interactions and an essential part of human evolution. And as humanity evolves, it's only natural for identity solutions to follow suit.
Yeah, it's coming, guys. We just have to make sure it's sovereign. We have control of that. We allow who we want to see it, see our data. Sure, the governments can attest to who we are, but we only give out certain pieces that we want. It's 2025, and we still have to show the clerk at the convenience store our address, our home address, where we live at, to buy a pack of cigarettes. I mean, what is that? We have to hand them our ID card. And of course, they're going to look at your address every time. It's crazy. Oh, wow. Okay, Smoke Dog is saying Gemini is already serving as custodian for the XRP ETFs. We saw where Gemini got a $25 million, I think it was $25 million credit line with Ripple, and they will be accepting ROUSD in that credit line. But now we're seeing Gemini is already serving as custodian for these XRP ETFs. XRP's growth potential, gain secure regulated exposure to global payment innovation through an ETF holding XRP directly. So yeah, if it's spot XRP, somebody's got to hold the actual coins. That's the whole point of the spot ETFs. So who are they working with? Let's see if I can figure it out. Okay, here's how it works. Proposed XRP ETF. Investor buys the ETF. ETF purchases XRP. An investor owns ETF that owns XRP. Well, duh. We knew that. All right, they're just advertising for the coin itself. Gemini Trust Company, LLC, Coinbase Custody Trust Company. Sub-custodians. Okay. So they're a sub-custodian alongside Coinbase. So Coinbase is going to be a custodian for the XRP ETF as well. Interesting. This is just proposed. Nice. Okay, what other bookmarks do we have? Japan. Smoke Dog says Japan will launch stablecoins this fall. Project PAX, an initiative by MUFG and SMBC and Mizuho to issue bank-backed stablecoins on a shared blockchain platform, involves the same three mega banks that are all using Ripple. Okay, so that means they should be running on the ledger. Just speculation. here, but Japan's ready to go. Of course, they've been waiting on regulations, guys. There are 3 mega banks launching Project PAX. Leverages blockchain-based stablecoins to accelerate cross-border settlement for businesses. The project will use Swift's API framework for compliance and efficiency, with the goal of commercializing the platform by 2025. Set to begin with a prototype, Project PAX aims to have a fully operational platform by 2025. Bring it on. Joseph says Bitcoin D looks weak and total market cap is just doing a retest before going back to 4 billion. We're going up just slowly so far. Probably won't explode until after September 18th. September looks like a good month. We'll take it. Let it go up. All boats will rise with it then. Looks like Ripple's already a bank. There's Protein. What's up, Nathan? Yeah, eyes on Japan. 3 of the largest banks have now joined the Japan Bank Consortium using Ripple. Japan to approve yen-peg stablecoins for the first time early as this fall. They're waiting on the states, and the states have passed their genius bill. So, yeah, these other countries are getting into it. Bring it on. Okay, we've got some news here from the General Breaking. The World Economic Forum has named BlackRock's Larry Fink as its new chairman. You can't make this up, guys. Larry Fink is everywhere. The leader of the megacorp, now in charge of the World Economic Forum. Okay, we've got Angry Crypto talking about Ripple's perfectly aligned. Let's see what he says.
Yeah, how big do you think this integration would be with RLUSD if it went, move forward?
So this is interesting. I've told people this many times. I was part of XRP Army before Cardano. Like, I bought Cardano back in 2020, and I keep an eye on it, but I didn't really go deep in the community until like when I made Angry Crypto, which was like give or take 1.5 years, 2 years ago. The wallet on my phone is actually XRPL wallet. Like, I got an XRPL wallet on my phone, and there's a lot of misconceptions, unfortunately, to Ripple. People just love to be like, oh, Brad's a scammer. That's, they don't want to have an objective take, right? I always believe in, civil scholarly dialogue, that we can be willing to agree and disagree.
Yeah, you got a lot of people falling for the FUD. They attack things that they're afraid of, guys. That's what's been going on.
XRPL integrations would be huge for Cardano, because one thing is that XRP doesn't have staking.
Oh, yeah, that's right. RLUSD is coming to Cardano, I think they said.
It's a proof of consensus. It was the first carbon neutral blockchain. It solved the gas wars, and even has a native DEX on its blockchain. So there's no aggregation. It's just a native DEX like on its ledger. Very unique.
Yeah, that is very unique. People overlook that. I'm glad he mentioned that, because you can't overlook that native DEX. That means a lot. What's up, D Cartel? Protein says that's crazy. You think running the WEF? Yeah, they're running out of global players, guys. Their pool of players to pick from is getting smaller and smaller, it seems like. Angus Graham's having a good time. Got a couple drinks here. Nice.
And the DEXs are almost like this front end that just access the native ledger, like order books accessing the native ledger.
It's on the front end. Yeah. It's a good way to put it. It's not built on top of it as a layer 2. Rather be, where is Gary? Anyone know? I haven't seen Gary in a while. Maybe he's answering for those checks he wrote for Hillary for that Steele dossier. Wouldn't that be nice?
Whatever DEX you use, doesn't matter. It's just like a UI. And so the RLUSD is approaching $600 million in issuance. I was taking a look at the pace of growth for RLUSD.
What's up, Tony Bags? Good afternoon.
Compared to Tether and USDC, and they're matching, if not beating, their pace. When you add the fact that Ripple has been getting all these bank licenses and RLUSD is NYDFS compliant, enterprise grade, XRPL, Ethereum, and many other chains likely in the future, plus monthly attestations, US based, Ripple is like perfectly ready, set, go for the United States. It's like just perfectly aligned.
Angry Crypto gets it. Perfectly aligned. Yeah, no wonder Cardano's dealing with them. Guys, if you missed my Cardano video, I did a good video on my channel, how to safely claim your night airdrop. I say safely with confidence because I just told you how I emptied the wallet from the coins. I created a new account and sent the coins to XRP coins to a new account and emptied that wallet out. And then I started my claim process with the night tokens. So yeah, I'm pretty confident that that's pretty safe. And I created a brand new Lace wallet that's on my channel, step by step for you guys. So get those free tokens, right? Midnight tokens. And now there is a little process. You've got to wait till the claim period ends, and then you got to wait for your tokens to thaw and come back and redeem them. So, and it takes a while. They're going to distribute them over the next year. So they don't want to give them all at one time because they'll be dumped onto the market, right? Nathan says Gary did him a favor. Nice. Yeah. Let us buy cheap. That's right. Cool. We're jumping all around today. Back to Metallicus. XPR OG says the partnership with Payfina is really important to talk about, even though not many people talk about it. Payfina already works with credit unions, and that means Metallicus can now connect to them too. Together, they can help people move money faster and even use crypto in safe, simple ways. This makes a partnership a big win and something that should be noticed more. Lots of noticing going on. Metallicus is getting more notoriety every day. That's good to see. That's why I try to talk about it. I want everybody to get in on this stuff. Be a part of the new financial revolution, the Great Awakening, the level playing field, where retail can get in before the big guys. First time in history, guys. As alert for Aquarius, if any of you guys are staking Aquarius, Aqua token, there's a high yield alert. ICE holders can earn 135% APY this week for voting for XLM SHX. I think it's this week because it was on the, what's the day? The 18th. So maybe it is next week. I'll have to check in on that. Okay, 18th through the 24th. So yeah, that's starting today. I'm gonna write that down and check back in on that. It says voting, so yeah, I need to check in on my ICE holders. Yeah, I'm holding. I did that thing on Aqua. That's been about a year, so I don't remember a lot about that Aqua platform. And you stake Aqua to get ICE, and now you can get 135% APY by voting for the Stronghold XLM pool. Boost liquidity for Stronghold to get rewarded for locking Aqua. There you go. Aqua.network/bribes. Aquarius. Okay. The bribe APY is 36%. So it looks like Aqua's bribing you to vote for new pools. That's the XLM USD pool, 36%. I assume it's bribing you for voting for the new pool. Aqua's that liquidity management token on the Stellar ledger. Don't forget about Stellar, guys. They've been mighty quiet here lately. Yeah, I'm going to leave this page open so I can check back in on the Aqua bribes. Do a little research on that. We like that high APY with no risk, right? This guy here says someone's low on tokens. Well, yeah, that's the point of Aqua's, to boost liquidity. That's what they're working on. That's their whole point. You've got a Proton Pussycat AI robot saying there's an airdrop alert for WebAuth holders, WebAuth wallet holders. The AI robot kitty companion AIRK is now live. I do these airdrops, guys, on BlastPad. You go to blastpad.io and //airdrop. And you log in with your WebAuth wallet here, Connect Wallet. And there's several airdrops up. Just, you got to log in. I'm not logged in, but it would say claim. There's a Neurox, BBC, XPR escrow, IA Ether, my friend's airdrop. You know, there's no telling. Free coins. I like free coins, though. And if you run out of, what do they call it? Not gas, but XPR resources. Storage. You know, it's free to use the XPR network. You know, it doesn't cost anything to send coins. But if you want to do airdrops and run programs, you'll need additional storage. And you have to buy, what is it? CPU. So you go to resources.xprnetwork.org. You can claim a few free airdrops, but if you run out of CPU, you have to go buy a few with XPR. You know, when you start using the system a lot, you know, because it's gasless, they're not just going to let you use all the system, keep using it for free. So that's very understandable. You can buy up to 6 megabytes of RAM. CPU is a more scarce resource, and we allocate system resources at each day, I guess. Oh, there's a faucet. Free faucets on the XPR network. I haven't even seen this yet. "24-hour faucet." Cool. All right, guys, I'm going to call it early before I get out of here. Check out my store if you guys are interested in some merch. Shirts, hats, women's tanks. Look, I even have an apron there. Shorts. Mr. Connector merch. Pretty good stream today. We'll call it early. Check out the, I got to eat some dinner and check out Uncle Buster's Illuminati Nights in a few hours. Enjoyed everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Mr. Connector out. Peace, guys.